VCAL PD presents Movie Talk Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the 2Sweet movie show. It's Thursday, the 29th of March. We have the movies releasing today. Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One. Now this is a story about virtual reality. It's called The Oasis. He dies and then he releases a video in which he challenges all Oasis users to find his Easter egg, which will give the finder his fortune. Everybody says it's quite an acclaimed movie of the year. Like, people are looking forward to seeing this Ready Player One film. So it will be exciting to see it. I'll probably watch it later. So yeah, it's directed by Steven Spielberg. He was working on two films at once. He worked on The Post, and then he worked on Ready Player One. And it was at the same time. I think he was doing it with post-production and everything. And also, it's got a good writer on board. It's from the writer who wrote The Avengers, Zach Penn, and The Incredible Hulk and X-Men 2. The cast is pretty good in this one as well. You've got Olivia Cook, Letitia Wright, who was in Black Panther. She was in that for quite a bit. Ty Sheridan's in here. He plays the main character as Wade. You've got McKenna Grace, Hannah John Carmen, Simon Pegg, Ben Mendelsohn, TJ Miller. Got a lot of good people there. It's like, everybody's talking about virtual reality now, so I think it'll be a big hit. Steven Spielberg always makes those great films, and, that's what happens. Another movie out this week, you've got Sherlock Holmes. Now, I've heard it's not as good as the original, and lots of people are saying it should have gone direct to DVD, so I'm kind of surprised that they put it into theatres, which releases today. So basically, it's just a sequel to Gnomeo and Juliet, and Johnny Depp plays Sherlock Holmes, and he has to investigate the mysterious disappearance of other garden ornaments. Now, reading that plot, I'm thinking there's nothing there. How can they fit that into an hour and 26-minute film? It is so surprising. I'm deadly surprised at it, really. You got the director John Stevenson on board. I remember he worked on a couple of interesting type of things. Yeah, he actually directed Kung Fu Panda. So it's disappointing to see him making Sherlock Holmes, which lots of people really don't like. And Gnomeo and Juliet was alright. I thought it was quite good. But maybe the sequel just didn't hit the spot. I could kind of agree if there's nothing there, because also from the writers of Tooth Fairy 2, and that was pathetic. I remember seeing it once and I hated it so much. So basically the cast back, you've got Emily Blunt, who plays Juliet, from the last one. Of course, she's a good actress, so that's a good thing about the film, but other things are just pathetic. As I said, Johnny Depp plays Sherlock Holmes. It's this character. And to be honest, I have no idea how this relates to the first Gnomeo and Juliet, which is actually a musical. Now they've turned it into a mystery and a mock of Sherlock Holmes. It looks pathetic, even though it has a good cast. I mean, you've got James McAvoy. He's very popular in Split, which was created last 2 years ago. Michael Caine, you've always liked him working on the Christopher Nolan films. Maggie Smith, she's so popular. She was in Philomena and that other one, The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. So look at that, mate. That's and she was in The Quartet as well. Actually, no. Philomena, that was Judi Dench, but still, Maggie Smith's good in The Quartet and Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. And Lady in the Van in recent years. Also got Chiwetel Ejiofor, who you just saw in Mary Magdalene. So he's got 2 or 3 big movies out this year. Quite exciting to see him. I remember seeing him in Doctor Strange, which he really was good in, playing Mordo. And then you've also got Stephen Merchant here. He's popular for the TV show The Office, which lots of people like, the US one. You've even got Julie Walters, who you saw in the film stars Don't Die in Liverpool and Billy Elliot, which was quite popular as well. Got Matt Lucas. I think we saw him on Little Britain. He was very popular in that English series. Mary J. Blige, Ozzy Osbourne, Richard Wilson, quite a few popular people there. But it doesn't, I might see this movie to review it and to say how bad it is, but I know it's showing in V Junior or something, so I know the kids will come because it's a school holidays movie. So they will come to see it. Another movie out this week, you've got The Death of Stalin. Now that's a 2017 film, but I think it was delayed in Australia due to post-production, so it came out in 2018 here. So it comes out today. It's a comedy. I think it's a type of black comedy type of thing. So basically the story is in early 1953 in Moscow, under the Great Terror's heavy cloak of state paranoia, the ever-watchful Soviet leader Joseph Stalin collapses unexpectedly of a brain hemorrhage. Inevitably, when his body is discovered in the following morning, a frantic surge of raw panic spreads like a virus in the senior members of the Council of Ministers as they scramble to maintain, awed, weed out competition and ultimately take power. But in the middle of a gut-wrenching rollercoaster of incensed plotting, tireless machinations, frail allegations, and absolutely no one is safe, not even the feared chief of the state police, Lavrenti Beria. In the end, who will prevail after the death of Stalin? So, see, that does look quite good. I've heard that lots of reviewers are liking it, and I'll probably go see it maybe this week or next week. Hopefully it's out next week as well. It's from the director of, he's a Scottish director. His name's Anando Inenshi, and he has worked on the series Veep, and he also directed the movie In the Loop, which starred James Gandolfini, which is also a political satire. So this guy is most known, Arnando Ineffici, is known for political type of movies. So he does have a bit of fun with this one. I'm sure it's going to be dead hilarious. I saw them advertising it on Movie Juice, and I'll surely watch it to review it, and I think it could be really funny. And you've got a good writer on board, David Schneider. He's from England. He wrote a couple of TV shows like Josh, Knowing Me, Knowing You with Alan Partridge, and All the Queen's Men, which is a movie. And it starred Matt LeBlanc, who you've seen in Friends. And that's about British special service agents. So I don't think it's about politics, but still got a good writer on board. And the cast is pretty strong here as well. You've got Olga Kurylenko. She's been in Oblivion, Quantum of Solace, Hitman, and Vampire Academy. A couple of those are quite good. And she's also going to be in the new Johnny English 3, which is apparently coming out this year. And I did really like the second one. I saw it in theatres, and the first one I've seen on TV. Now, Jason Isaacs is also in this film. Jason Isaac, he worked on Harry Potter, The Patriot, Peter Pan, and Black Hawk Down. Quite good movies, those. And then you've got Andrea Riseborough. She's also in The Death of Stalin. She's known for The Birdman, which was actually won Best Picture, Oblivion as well, and W.E., which was another, I think, was type of romantic film which came out a couple of years ago. You've got Rupert Friend, who's working on here as well. He was known for The Young Victoria, The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas, and Pride and Prejudice. He also was in the latest 2015 sequel or remake of Hitman Agent 47. And you've also got Steve Buscemi in the film. Now, he's worked in lots of, Adam Sandler type of things. But I think he's quite a good actor, and this actually seems promising for the actor to get out of Adam Sandler territory and get into a smart and political satire. So it'll be good to see it. I'll be really happy when it releases. Well, it's actually released today. You've got Jeffrey Tambor is also in this film. He's known for TV shows like Transparent and Arrested Development. I know those are quite good. I don't think I've seen much of them, but it will be good to see them as well. In the film, you've also got Michael Palin. Now, I think he's a British guy, and he's known for the Monty Python and the Holy of Grail and A Fish Called Wanda. So he's one of those really funny type of guys, and it would be exciting to see him on screen again for the smart political comedy, The Death of Stalin. Also out this week, you've got Blockers, which stars John Cena, and it's one of those new comedies, and people actually think it's pretty funny, which is kind of a surprise, because people just thought it'd be one of those guilty type of pleasure movies, but people actually think it's actually smart and well done, and actually has a story, so everything's all done properly. Now, it's from the writers of Pitch Perfect, 1, 2, and 3. They were alright, I guess. And it's a woman who does it, directorial debut for Kay Cannon. And, I don't think she's a bad director. It's probably quite good. Blockers. Actually, I'll be happy to see it, because it releases today. I'll probably go see it this week or the week after. And it stars John Cena. And he's getting very popular now. In 2009 and 2006, he's known for the Marine and 12 Rounds, which are WWE movies. But now he's gone into big blockbuster territory. He had his first big role in Trainwreck, which is an Amy Schumer comedy, and Bill Hader. And that was actually surprisingly funny. I've seen it, and it's not that bad, to be honest. Not as bad as you expect. He's also in Daddy's Home. He turned up in the 2015 film, and then he came back for the sequel. He's only in it for a bit, but he's getting bigger now. He's certainly still working in WWE, but he's working into movies now. So he's become an actor. He's become a big actor, not one of those TV type of film type of thing. He's become bigger. And there's a big movie coming out with him, which has actually been announced for 2019. It's directed by Stephen Gaghan, who is actually known. He's an American director. He directed Gold, that Matthew McConaughey dramatic movie. Actually, a thriller. I remember it's a thriller as well. Also directed Syriana, which is starred George Clooney, Matt Damon, Amanda Peet, Robin Wright, I think. No. Christopher Plummer, sorry. My mistake there. It's going to be good. It's been announced. There's a big cast for this. So 2019's going to be big, people. You've got Robert Downey Jr., Tom Holland, who we just saw in Spider-Man Homecoming, which was excellent. John Cena has been announced as well. Marion Cotillard, who we saw in Allied. Ralph Fiennes, he's big. Michael Sheen, Selena Gomez, Octavia Spencer, Antonio Banderas, Emma Thompson, Kumail Nanjiani, Rami Malek, and Craig Robinson. That's a big cast. And in 2019, everybody's going to go see it. It's going to be excellent. He's also been announced for the new Bumblebee movie. And basically, I think it's a type of prequel type of thing. Well, it's connected to Transformers, the series, but I think it's sort of not really connected and stuff. And it's from the director of Kubo and the Two Strings. So, actually, we may have a promising type of Transformers film Well, I think it's Transformers related, but it's not fully Transformers, like prequel type of thing. But, you know, Michael Bay is sort of gone now. He didn't want to be a part of it, and guess we'll see a type of different film. And the cast has been revealed as well. You've got Haley Steinfeld, who's popular for the Pitch Perfect films, and her really, I remember lots of people like this one, The Edge of 17, which is out in 2016. And John Cena has also been announced to play Agent Burns in Bumblebee. So basically the story of Bumblebee on the run in the year 1987. Bumblebee finds refuge in a junkyard in a small Californian beach town. Charlie, who plays Haley Steinfeld, on the cusp of turning 18 and trying to find her place in the world, discovers Bumblebee, battle-scarred and broken. When Charlie revives him, she quickly learns this is no ordinary yellow VW bug. So basically it follows the Transformers series, which didn't conclude, but there'll probably be another Transformers. I don't think Transformers The Last Night was the worst one. Was the last one, sorry. I don't think that, maybe Mark Wahlberg, he's stepped down, but he may return, not sure. But I know he has stepped down, he's announced that, so they will get someone else to sort of get into a new Transformers film if they do sort of make one. And you know, he's also, back to John Cena, he was in Ferdinand, which was pretty terrible. It wasn't that good, according to what I think. He's been in Sisters, he's been in The Reunion, couple of films, but he's gotten bigger now, and it's good to see that he's finally got into the cinema, and he's truly hilarious, you know. If you see the trailer of Blockers, he's so funny in it as well, which is just excellent to hear. And also Leslie Mann is in Blockers. She plays one of the parents along with John Cena. You know, she's worked on The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Big Daddy, This Is 40, Knocked Up, 17 Again, The Other Woman, How to Be Single, and Rio. So she is quite popular as well, so good to hear. And I think this movie, it doesn't focus on the parents as much. I think it focuses on both of them. But I think Catherine Newton is the main actress in this one. And she worked in Lady Bird. So good to see her as well. A supporting role, you've got Ike Barinholtz. He's been in Suicide Squad. And he was in Bad Neighbours and The Disaster Movie. Yeah, that piece of trash. But I don't have to speak about it. You've got Ramona Young, Geraldine Viswanathan. She's a girl who plays in Blockers. I think she's Australian as well. I heard her being interviewed in Movie Juice, and yeah, well, of course she would be, because she actually starred in Janet King, which is an ABC show. So maybe she's sort of gone to Hollywood. It's good to hear, actually. Good to hear. So basically the story is three parents, John Cena, Leslie Mann, Ike Barinholtz, try to stop their daughters from having sex on a prom night. So that's basically what the story is, and got so many goofs there and everything. It's going to be truly hilarious. You've got John Cena, he's so funny now. So good. I mean, how can you go wrong? And I think lots of people are going to go see it as well. I heard that the advanced screening was very popular, which screened last week, which is quite happy to hear, actually. Happy about it. And I think, like, people, it may not be as smart as Game Night, but I think it is pretty funny and also got a bit of a story there. But other rude films which come out, other, like, crude type of films, they get the crudeness right, but they don't get the story part right. And storytelling's the most important thing you want in a film. Otherwise, the story doesn't progress properly, and you can't. The characters, they just don't. They don't work together. You don't get to express the characters or find out much about them, if you say. Another movie out this week, you've got Early Man. Now this is directed by Nick Park. He's worked on Wallace and Gromit, Chicken Run, and A Grand Day Out. He always does those claymation type of films, and they're actually very popular. Good to hear they've got an actual good cast here as well. You've got Eddie Redmayne. He's always been popular. He's in Fantastic Beasts, and he always nails his role in that one. Theory of Everything. You got Tom Hiddleston, who worked on Thor, Avengers, and The Night Manager. Maisie Williams. Timothy Spall, he's also in it as well. He was in Finding Your Feet, which was out a couple of weeks ago, I heard. Rob Brydon's in it as well. Mark Williams. Quite a big type of cast. And people are actually saying it's surprisingly funny. So basically the story goes, set at the dawn of time when prehistoric creatures and woolly mammoths roamed the earth, early man tells the story of Doug along with sidekick Hognob as they reunite his tribe against a mighty enemy, Lord Nuth, and his Bronze Age city to save their home. Now, that actually looks surprisingly funny. It's because British comedy's always smart. I know that from a fact. Aardman, who produces it, they're normally at the top of their game, and I'm not sure if I like this one or not. I mean, I'm probably gonna see it. I'm not definitely sure. I haven't made up my mind yet. But when I do get the chance to see it, I'll certainly review it when I see it. So now on to my big review of Tomb Raider. Saw it a week ago. It's quite nicely done. It's not a bad film at all. It's basically just it's an action type of adventure story. So basically the story goes, so the story's set in London. She's a bike courier. So now onto my big review of Tomb Raider. It's an action adventure. It's basically the story of Lara Croft. She's an independent daughter of an eccentric adventurer who vanishes when she was scarcely a teen. And then she's a woman of 21. She doesn't have purpose or a focus. She navigates the chaotic streets of trendy East London as a bike courier, barely making the rent, and takes college courses, rarely making it to class. She doesn't go to university and everything. She wants to find her own path, but she refuses to take the reins of her father's global empire as she rejects the idea that he's actually gone. So she thinks that her father is still alive. And then she's to face the facts and move forward after 7 years without finding him. Basically, Lara Croft, who plays Alicia Vikander, can't understand what drives her to finally solve the puzzle of his mysterious death. And then going against his final wishes, she leaves everything she knows behind him to search for her dad's last known destination, which is a tomb on a mystical island that might be somewhere off the coast of Japan. But her mission will not be an easy one. Just reaching the island will be extremely treacherous because there's this scene on the boat, right, and stuff, and it just goes everywhere. And the scene's quite done nicely, like the whole action scene and everything. It's good. It's visually interesting, Tomb Raider. And then basically the stakes couldn't be higher for Lara, who against the odds and armed with only her sharp mind, blind faith, inherently stubborn spirit, must learn to push herself beyond her limits as she journeys into the unknown. And then if she survives this perilous adventure, could be the making of her earning the name of the Tomb Raider. Now this movie is not the best film I've seen, but it's entertaining. I'll give you that. It's an entertaining film. The start can be a bit slow, which I found surprising. I thought it would go pretty quickly. Because in the start, they don't show her, doing stunts and stuff. She does boxing at the start. Like she does these small boxing type of things. And then halfway through the film, she goes on the adventure and everything when she stops being the bike courier. And then you just start to see the new Lara Croft building Now, I guess there could have been, I guess I could have known that there would have been a bit of not, a bit would not be done properly, because Rory Targ, it's his first time working in Hollywood at Warner Brothers Pictures. He's a Norwegian director and it's his first time. So I guess, if they make a second Tomb Raider, I guess it will be better because they may improve it, or it could be worse. You never know, really. You never know at all. The cast is pretty strong here. You got Alicia Vikander, who plays her role as Tomb Raider brilliantly. She's the star of the film. If she wasn't in the film, this movie would be not done properly. It just wouldn't have the star power, because her acting's done properly. It's done quite good, She's a great actress, Alicia Vikander, and brilliantly done superbly as well, her role and everything. Story's great as well. And I always liked her because I saw her in The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which is actually on recently. That's a quite good film. It starred Henry Cavill and Colin Firth, Hugh Grant, I think. Hugh Grant's in it. She also was in Tulip Fever, which I didn't see, but heard she was quite good in that as well. And I was happy to see her because you see her in action in this. She hasn't been in many action roles. She's worked on The Light Between the Oceans, Danish Girl, those drama type things. And now getting onto the villain, you've got Walton Goggins. He's alright in Tomb Raider. He's not showing his best performance. Maybe not as good as he hoped. Not as good as he should. But it's okay. And then you got Dominic West. He's alright in Tomb Raider. He's not playing his best role. Of course, he plays better roles in The Wire and Chicago, which he's most known for. It's sort of a disappointing type of thing. The actor Daniel Wu wasn't in Tomb Raider as much. He should have had a much bigger role in the film. It would have made it certainly better, because I actually liked him better than Walton Goggins, and of course he nailed his part properly, playing Lou Ren. And he was in Julia Storm last year. I remember seeing that, and actually didn't mind his performance in Julia Storm, and I certainly thought his performance in Tomb Raider was much better, and he improved himself, and everything was quite good. Got Kristen Scott Thomas on the supporting role, Derek Jacobi, and Nick Frost, who's in it 5, maybe 3 minutes, 2 minutes. A little type of tiny role where he plays Max. He's like an owner of a shop and everything. It's quite a funny scene. The whole film, it's messy at times. Like, a couple of scenes should be cut out because, a couple of times in the theater when I was watching it, I just thought, like, why'd they put this in? Like, it's not interesting. It has nothing to do with the Tomb Raider type of story thing. But they were trying to do a new story of Tomb Raider, which is, it's okay. It's okay. But it's not the best thing you ever see. But the video game type of, the way it was done, like the video game type of thing, it was a video game that is so much fun, and it's exciting as well. It's crafted beautifully, and it's a solid story with great action and surprises I wasn't expecting. Surely, me too. I wasn't expecting some surprises, and they certainly delivered in some things, and the film's quite done really good. Like, all the action scenes you see, all the stunts, they're done quite good. The music's okay. The score, it's done alright. It's done alright. So I think I'm going to finish my Tomb Raider review. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. So another big movie out now. You've got Pacific Rim Uprising. Now this, I've heard it's not as good as the original, which is certainly expected due to Del Toro left the project. He got off the directing chair and gave the role to Stephen S. DeKnight. And basically the story goes, Jake Pentecost, who's played by John Boyega, who's the son of Stacker Pentecost, who's Idris Elba's son, and he actually died in the first one. And then he reunites with Makamori to lead a new generation of Jaeger pilots. So basically they're children, they're teens, and they're all these pilots. And they've got a rival named Lambert, and he's played by Scott Eastwood. And the 15-year-old hacker Amara, and they're against a new kaiju threat. Now, surely I haven't seen this film yet, but when I see it, I'm sure it's going to be exciting to see on screen. The action will be done perfectly, and it will be surely entertaining. But it's probably, the story may not be as good as the other one. I'm not sure about that. I mean, probably, older people won't find it that entertaining, but maybe not. But younger people will surely find it exciting. I'm sure the best part of the film, it's a 2-hour film, it's probably the best part of the film will be the fight sequences. And certainly, you know, their worst type of the film will certainly be the dialogue. I've heard the dialogue's pretty ordinary. Some of the dialogue and story should be cut out. It's not that interesting. But, you know, it's interesting. It's a new take on the kaiju genre. And it's an interesting way to utilize the giant robots. And I've heard the aliens are really cool. And the movie's quite intense at times as well. You got Charlie Hunnam, he left the project. But Charlie Day's still there. He's a good player, a good actor. And I also do like John Boyega because he's known for Star Wars and also the Detroit, which was really good last year. Scott Eastwood is known for Fate of the Furious. Charlie Day known for the Horrible Bosses series. So yeah, that's really good. And I think there's lots of children actors here as well. One of them worked on a Disney show, Jessie or something. So there you go, it's Pacific Rim Uprising. I'm surely going to check it out soonish. I'd say soonish I'm going to check it out. Because I really do want to see Pacific Rim, because I did like, the original was alright. And Del Toro is a great director, so I thought it was quite good. Really good, actually. So yeah, Now onto my review of Red Sparrow. So basically the story goes, Jennifer Lawrence plays a ballerina named Dominika Agorova, and she's recruited to Sparrow School. So basically it's a Russian intelligence service where she's forced to use her body as a weapon. This is thrilling, it's mystery, it's really interesting to see on the big screen. But the movie's a little too long, and the story plot's a bit of it. You think the movie's going to end, but it just keeps going in a kind of way. Doesn't mean the movie's bad at all. I didn't say the movie's bad. I surely did have fun with it, but there have been some sort of better films out recently. And there are really good scenes in the film. Like, Jennifer Lawrence, she looks really great in this film. All of her looks and everything, they're nice. She plays a role good. She plays a good Russian type of spy. And the story, is interesting. But it's also, I think some people may actually get scared by this film in some sort of way. Because it's not for the faint heart. I thought it was good, but some people would think, oh, it's too violent. It's not good at all. But I surely won't agree with them. It is interesting to see on screen. It really is. And she's Russian. She's intelligence officer, basically. She's played by Jennifer Lawrence. And she's basically assigned to seduce a CIA agent who handles the CIA's most sensitive of Russian intelligence. And then the two young officers collide in a charged atmosphere of tradecraft, deception, and forbidden passion, which is between Jennifer Lawrence and Joel Edgerton, that threatens not just their lives, but the lives of others as well. And also Dominika Grovera, she's in the Bolshoi Ballet, and she would love to have a career in the ballet, but then she's basically sort of ends because something happens, and then she's basically faced with a difficult decision, and her shady uncle Vanya Agorov, who's played by Matthias, can't say his last name, but he acted quite good in the film, and then he sends her to serve the state. And then Dominika is put through intensive training to learn how to use her body as a weapon to sexually manipulate prestigious targets. And is recruited to make contact with Nate Nash to reveal the identity of an unknown Russian informative. It's interesting. It's thrilling. You're on the edge of your seat for this one. And it's from the director who worked on The Hunger Games, Francis Lawrence. And it's like surprising because they're both called Lawrence. You know, you got Jennifer Lawrence and then the director Francis Lawrence. Bit of a coincidence there. Quite funny actually. And I know it's based on a book by Jason Matthews, and they're thinking of making a sequel. I will surely see it because it's not like I didn't like the first one, and I'm sure the ending certainly puts out a sequel to see Jennifer Lawrence back as Dominika when they make a sequel, and they may make it soon, I'm not sure. You've also got Mary Louise Parker in this film, plays Stephanie Butcher. She's sort of a small role there. Her scene, it's alright, but the movie's certainly confusing at times. Charlotte Rampling, she plays a good performance. She's basically the owner of the school. She owns this sexual type of Sparrow school, and at times, you know, it can be. No, it wasn't hard to watch from, according to what I thought, but some people might be disturbed by what they see. Certainly some type of gritty stuff and just, you know, certainly some mature themes and everything, not for the faint-hearted, as I said. And Jeremy Irons is also in this film. He plays his role quite good, yeah. So yeah, I think I'll wrap up the Red Sparrow review. I certainly did like it, but if you want to compare Tomb Raider and Red Sparrow, which one's better? It's hard to say because both of them are on the same level, according to what I think. They both had very interesting scenes, and that's why I'm both giving them a 7 out of 10. Yes, because I really did like the films. I did like them very much so, but you know, some of it is not that good, and same with Tomb Raider. So there you go, the Red Sparrow review. Now on to me talking about I Can Only Imagine, which is out in select theatres, sort of limited release now. It's been out for, I think, nearly 3 weeks. Maybe 2 weeks, sorry. And it's basically a family drama. And story of basically, it's an inspiring and unknown true story behind Mercy Me's beloved chart-topping song that brings hope to those who many. And it's a gripping reminder of the power of true forgiveness. Now, if I get the chance, I will go and see this film because I've heard it's quite good. And Dennis Quaid, he plays a father role. It's quite a sad movie. I've heard it's emotional. And I've also heard that it's a type of Christian movie. Now, Christian movies don't normally have anything right, but apparently this is one of the best Christian films in a long time. So if I do go and see it, I'm surely going to review it on here. but I might not see it. I've heard it's funny, I heard it's interesting, inspiring, and it's powerful as well. Powerful true story. About apparently it's the most popular Christian song of all time. I didn't know that because I'm not like, I don't know much about that. Apparently it's so light-hearted, it's funny. And the message is strong as well. It gives out a powerful message. Don't give up. And apparently his father dies and then he just wants to write a song or something. And his father, Dennis Quaid, becomes really sick and then... Yeah, and his father's also, I think, is mean to him or something. He's like, that's what happens. Wrapping up the talk on I Can Only Imagine. Now on to me talking about A Wrinkle in Time. Now this is out today, actually. It's come out today. It's one of those family fantasy adventures. And the story goes, following the discovery of a new form of space travel, as well as Meg's father's disappearance, she, her brother, and her friend must join these magical beings, Mrs. Whatsit, Mrs. Who, and Mrs. Which, to travel across the universe to rescue him from a terrible evil. Now this film, I've heard it's pathetic. I've heard it's garbage. Most people are saying really bad things about it, and I can certainly agree. That plot, it's strange, it's uninteresting, it's confusing. Even though the cast is good, I've heard that it's trash. Really is a waste of time. It's disappointing to hear that Disney have gone to a downright low into this film. Now, Mrs. Which is played by Oprah Winfrey. Mrs. Which, that is... She may be a good actress. She may have had a great talk show. But I've heard, I'm not sure if her role's big or something. I'm not sure. No idea the main type of actress. I think they're not doing the proper top billing or something. They're putting like sort of misleading thing, I think. And I've heard that the special effects are done right, and I can tell that by the trailer. But, it is tripe, I've heard. It is unwatchable. And I'm sure that it's not going to be in theatres for long here, even though it's in main release today. Lots of people are going to hate this. All these Australians who go to watch the movie this week. And we're just on holidays and everything. And it's disappointing to see director Ava DuVernay, who worked on Scandal, Selma, The 13th, and I Will Follow, quite popular movies and TV. And you got the screenplay, which is written by Jennifer Lee. Now, I'm not sure if she's worked on some better things. Actually, she has. She wrote Frozen, she wrote Wreck-It Ralph, Zootopia, and then she gives us this. I can't fully judge on it, but I'm sure when I go to see it, if I see it, that is, if I see it. And this thing doesn't make sense. You've got Oprah Winfrey who plays Mrs. Which, and then Reese Witherspoon who plays Mrs. Whatsit. What? What the hell is this? What is this? Somebody has to explain. It's strange. Oh no, mind blown. Oh my God. Doesn't look good at all. And I have liked Reese Witherspoon. She's not a bad actress at all. But she certainly got a bad role here. Disappointing to see Chris Pine working in this film. He's very good in Star Trek and Wonder Woman and the sequel Star Trek Into Darkness and This Means War. And you've got Gugu Mbatha-Raw, who's in this film as well. She worked on Beauty and the Beast and Belle, which is quite a popular movie. And I think the main actress is this child. Her name's Storm Reed. She wasn't directed properly in the film, I'm guessing. She probably is a great actress. I'm not saying she's bad, but this film must be terrible. Must be a waste. And you've got Mindy Kaling in this film. She's popular as well. She's known for The Office and everything. Zach Galifianakis, who we know for The Hangover. But when you see his scene in the film, it seems unnecessary, and I think he's in it for not that long either. But I do have an interest seeing in this film due to Michael Pena being in here. And I saw him recently in 12 Strong. And I'll go review it today if I have the chance. But I really did like 12 Strong. It's an excellent film. It's a good film. David Orleo's in this film as well. He worked in Selma, Queen of Katwe, and Jack Reacher. Oprah Winfrey, as I said. Okay, I think I'm going to stop talking about this. I'm not sure what it's like because I haven't seen it. But I've heard it's pretty ordinary. And I'm sure I'm right. 3 Billboards is still out. I think in sort of limited release now. It may be a good film. I've heard it's quite good. I still haven't seen it. But may get to see it soon. You've got Game Night is still out. I think it's out. Yeah, limited now. But I already seen it, and I think lots of other people have as well. Tonya, Peter Rabbit is out as well. James Corden, Margot Robbie. Darkest Hour is still out, but I think it's really limited to those art type of cinemas. You've got Paddington 2, which is out now. This is a certain kids flick special, so it's only $5 this week at Village Cinemas. That will be good. I might actually see it, because I didn't see Paddington. I have seen Paddington 1, but I didn't see the sequel. I didn't see it when it was out in wide release earlier last year. But surely we'll go and see it, I think, this week. I hope to see it this week. I probably will. Now on to my big review of 12 Strong. 12 Strong is so good. So basically it tells the story of the 1st Special Forces team, and they're deployed to Afghanistan after 9/11. And then they're under the leadership of a new captain. The team must work together with the Afghan warlord to take down for the Taliban. Now, Chris Hemsworth has put down his hammer as Thor, and he's turned into this big soldier. It's fantastic. The explosions, the special effects are all done well. The casting is great. They're all on horses doing everything. It's a cool thing, and it's new because you haven't seen all these soldiers working in horses. Well, I haven't seen it recently, or maybe never. So, the guns are crazy in this one as well. The action is done perfectly. Everything's done perfectly in 12 Strong. They've got a whole story about family, story about all the couples and everything. And they basically, all of the couples are wishing of them to come home. And the reason it's called 12 Strong is because 12 people working together to basically take down the Taliban. And this is a true story as well. It's a declassified true story of the horse soldiers. It happened after 9/11. It's great. It's action. It's dramatic. It's history. It's a thriller. What more can you want? Seriously. Now it's directed by Nikolai Fugacic. Now he is a great director. Actually, after seeing 12 Strong, I'm happy to see more projects he's going to work on because he's going to nail lots of them. He's a great director. I want him to come to Hollywood and certainly make another blockbuster like 12 Strong, and to also make a purpose, because this isn't just like a little type of action type of movie. It certainly has a purpose, and it's a true story as well. That's what you want to hear. Now, the writing's done quite good as well. It's not like a bad writing job. You got the writer of The Town, Hunger Games, Bloodfather, which was Mel Gibson's comeback vehicle in 2016, and Peter Craig. Yeah, he wrote it. He's not bad. He's good. I mean, the writing's not done bad in this film. Ted Talley also wrote it. Doug Stanton, who's the author of the book, which is what the movie's based on, which is the book The Horse Soldiers. I haven't read it, but may read it if I get the chance. I'm not sure. But Chris Hemsworth, who plays the role as Captain Mitch Nelson, nails his role perfectly. Every time you see him on screen, he just nails it. He's put down his hammer for Thor, but he's put his guns up, and he's an American soldier. He does his role perfectly. He nails it every time. And it's a gripping type of movie. It keeps you on the edge of the seat, and the action is out of this world. It is great. And you've got Michael Shannon, who's also here. He worked on The Shape of Water and Man of Steel a couple of years ago, Michael Shannon, I'd love to see more of him because he nailed his role as well in 12 Strong. Taylor Sheridan, who actually was the director and writer of Wind River, he was good in this as well. He's very good. And his role as Brian is very good. It's excellent, actually. And William Fichtner, who's also great in this film, or great in 12 Strong. He basically plays the role as a Colonel Mulholland. So basically, he just tells them what to do and stuff. He's the colonel, colonel. So basically, he's great when he's there. He's there in a supporting type of role. And Michael Pena, he's great in the film as well. He's great in 12 Strong. He knows lots of his parts in this one. As you've known, he's known for Ant-Man, and he's been in Chips, End of Watch, Shooter. I just always love Michael Pena when he's on screen. He always does a great job in films. And he doesn't disappoint in 12 Strong. He just improves himself. Jake Kessie as Charles Jones. Jeff Sturtz as Sean Coffers. They all do great jobs. They really do. And then Lieutenant Connell Bowers, who's played by Rob Riggle, who's known for 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street. He's also good when he has a couple of roles. And Trevor Nate Rhodes, he has this type of friendship in the film with a young boy. And it's great to see it as well. It's great to see the friendship. And he just picks him up and everything. When he gets injured in one of the scenes, and he just picks him up. The whole film is about friendship, courage, teamwork, and everything you want to see on screen. Everything's done perfectly. This film doesn't have many faults, I can tell you that. And Trevor Nate Rhodes, he's funny in the film as well. There's a couple of funny scenes, and you just laugh out loud. He's great in the film. Everyone's great, even all the other characters on the side. They all play great roles. I'd love to see more of Nicholas Fuglsig as a directing job. He nailed it. The true story about the horse soldiers, which is fantastic. And also, much better than Tomb Raider. Because this one wasn't slow. This one kept picking up pace. It was excellent, this one. And it's also better than Red Sparrow. Because Tomb Raider was okay. But it's only showing 2 sessions this week in, my local cinema. So that certainly shows that not many people are interested in Tomb Raider. And Red Sparrow is certainly leaving as well. But anyway, I'm wrapping up my 12 Strong review. Time for the decision, people. I really enjoyed this film. I'm thinking about faults, and there's really not any faults about 12 Strong. Everything's done perfectly. All the acting, all the cinematography. The cinematography is so spectacular. Special effects, all the stunts. Everything is done well. It really is. It's excellent. Just incredible. It is incredible, this movie. It's incredible, I'm telling you. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Yes, because it is spectacular and exciting to see on screen. Now on to my thoughts of Mary Magdalene. Now this is a new film. It is new, but I don't think many people are going to see it because it's gone into limited release now. It was in wide release last week when it came out, but people haven't seen it, and it certainly has sort of, not done any better, I'd say. And I still haven't seen it, but I'm hoping to see it this week because Garth Davies, I liked his direction on Lion. He's a great director, a great Australian director. And to see Rooney Mara, who's also in Lion, to be in Mary Magdalene as well. It's just great. And then the cast. The cast is very strong in here as well. I'm telling you, the cast. Rooney Mara, I really did like her in Lion, as I said. She's been in multiple other movies like Carol, the girl with the dragon tattoo, The Social Network, and Side Effects. And Joaquin Phoenix, who plays the role as Jesus in this one. He's known for Gladiator, which is excellent as well. Chiwetel Ejiofor, yeah, he's another reason why I want to see the film. He's great in 12 Years a Slave, 2012, and Doctor Strange. He's just brilliant. And I've heard it's it's not the best film you've ever seen, but I've heard it's pretty ordinary. It's not. But it doesn't mean that I won't like it at all. I think that it may have potential, Mary Magdalene. It's not like it's going to be bad at all. No, I don't think at all it's going to be bad. It's going to be interesting in parts, but I surely think some parts will be boring, and it's expected because I didn't hear much about it. And basically the synopsis is the story of Mary Magdalene. Now, what does that tell you? Mary Magdalene is Mary, and Joaquin Phoenix is Jesus, and Chiwetel Ejiofor is Peter. So basically that sums up Mary Magdalene. I may go see it, not sure. You got Lady Bird still out. Another new biblical movie out for Easter. Now I'm going to talk about Paul, Apostle of Christ. Now, I've heard that this is quite good. It's a drama, a history. It basically tells the story of Paul. Now, Paul is James Faulkner, and he's going from the most infamous prosecutor of the Christians to Jesus Christ's most influential apostle. Now, this is going to be good, I've heard. It's directed by Andrew Hyatt. Now, Andrew Hyatt is known for some other type of biblical movies like Full of Grace. And it's written by Terence Burden. And it's his first written job on Paul, Apostle of Christ. And Andrew Hyatt also is the writer of the film. Now, the cast is good as well. You've got Jim Cavell. Now, he hasn't been in a movie for a while. He's most known for Person of Interest. And he certainly, something happened and he just certainly left Hollywood, and now he's back as Paul, Apostle of Christ. And the reason he really did leave was because he made a controversial decision to play the role as Jesus in The Passion of Christ, which is directed by Mel Gibson. Now, that was very controversial in 2004, and that certainly made him he just didn't really act much anymore, but he acted occasionally, but not a main role at all. But then when he went to TV, he found his spark as playing John Reese from Person of Interest. That was an incredible show. I remember seeing it quite a number of times. It is incredible. It's done well, and it's excellent. And due to Jim Cavell coming back to the big screen, I really do want to check out Paul Apostle of Christ. I think it's going to be incredible. It's going to be interesting, and it's going to be, incredible on screen. And I've heard it's very moving, this film. Like, the dialogue, I've heard it's not that good. And I think it's a good story. It's just about, like a Bible sort of story. And basically, where would Christians be without the dedication of Paul the Apostle? So there you go. Paul, Apostle of Christ. I'm probably going to see it soon. Now we're going to talk about Finding Your Feet. It's still out in limited release. It's a romantic comedy drama at the old generation type thing. It's a story on the eve of retirement. A middle-class, judgmental snob discovers her husband has been having an affair with her best friend, and she is forced into exile with her bohemian sister who lives on an impoverished inner-city council estate. Now, the directing's done by Richard Longcrane, who's known for Firewall, which I do like, which is directed by... which stars Harrison Ford. And he also directed My House in Umbria, Wimbledon, Special Relationship, which stars Dennis Quaid, and Five Flights Up, which stars Morgan Freeman. He's a good director, Richard Longcrane. He's not bad at all. I have seen some of his work. It's from the writer of Saint Trinians. It's a British type of comedy. Okay, I think that wraps up my thoughts on Finding Your Feet. So I think I'm going to close the program. I've done a full hour today. Done a full hour program. It's time to sign off for 2Sweet movie reviews. See you next time. See you after the holidays.